Keeping the kitchen clean with little kids seems like it's impossible. So here's how I make it work. Now, I don't know how many kids you have, I don't know how old they are, or if you have 0 kids at all. It seems like the kitchen is a constant struggle because it's being used the most. The dishes might be piling up because you use them for almost every meal. The pots and pans are piling up. It can seem like, oh, I need to cook something and I don't have the pan for this right now. It's just a constant mess sometimes. A big thing that's helped me when it comes to messes is cleaning while you cook. And I don't mean in like putting it in the dishwasher straight away. Oh, I need to use this bowl to mix this item. I go and wash it really fast while that item is probably simmering. And then I reuse the bowl to serve it or to mix something else with. So instead of using 2 bowls that I have to wash later, I'm going to use 1 bowl and wash it immediately and use it again. Props if you wash it immediately again and go ahead and put it on the drying rack. If I'm cooking and I've got a lot of pots and pans, as soon as I finish using a pan or a big item like that's bulky, it's so much better if you go ahead and clean it right then. It doesn't get dried, it doesn't get crusty, but also if you notice, the majority of the dishes in the sink usually come from the large bulky items. So your pans, your pots, your large mixing bowls. Those are all so bulky, they don't take that long to clean. It's like a quick swipe around depending on what you cooked in it or what you mixed in it, and you put it straight on the drying rack, and now it's not taking up space in your sink. Continuing with the dishes, if you have a dishwasher, unloading it and loading it at least once a day, maybe even twice a day, depending on how big your family is and how often you eat at home. And that's where you need a routine. For me, I do all my dishes in the morning. Everything is washed, the sink is clean at least once in the morning. I find that it's a lot easier for me to start the day more energetic, go ahead and get through all the dishes, wash out the sink, and then I'm more motivated to keep that sink clean. So I start the dishwasher, and at some point in the middle of the day, the dishwasher is done, and I can use those dishes for lunch or for dinner, or I can put them away. Some people like to start their dishwasher at night. Totally understand that. I'm just exhausted at the end of the day, so I do not do mine at night. Continuing with your routines, if you have a specific dishwashing time routine, this is probably a good time to incorporate a wipe down routine of your counters. So you're already taking all the dishes off the counters, off of the stove, you're putting them in the sink. This is time for you to wipe them all down. And if you have a routine of like, first I start with this side of the counter and I move myself over to this side, and then next I go to the other side of the counter and just kind of wipe everything down, it's a lot easier than just running around picking up a bunch of different things, but just left to right on your different counters. I typically have a lot of dishcloths for this reason, because I wipe down my counters so often. In your wipe down routine, so when I do my dishes, I'm wiping down the counters as I'm putting the dishes in the sink. I have a different cloth for drying. Then when I finish all the dishes in the sink and I put everything away, wipe down the sink. And then if you just have a little bit extra time, you want to put a little cherry on top, this can be your chance to pick an appliance, your refrigerator, your stove, your microwave, whatever, and at least once a week, wiping that down as well. Honestly, having the counters wiped, that's like the majority of our kitchen problems, right? Our kitchen woes come from having too much stuff on the counters, too many dishes in the sink, and maybe the floor is cluttered with all the kids' toys. But once the counters are wiped and the dishes are wiped, it's kind of like when you make your bed in your room. When the bed's made, the whole room feels messy as a comparison, so you need to like clean up the rest of the room, or you feel motivated to clean up the rest of the room. When the dishes in the sink are done, you feel motivated to continue cleaning the counters. When you're done with the counters, it's like, well, I might as well wipe these cabinets too, because these cabinets are nasty, or sweep and mop the floor. So getting to the point where you can have the counters wiped every day, that is huge. That's a big step. An even bigger step is decluttering, so there's not many things on the counters. The items that we keep on our counters are items that we use every single day. And there's actually a few items that we don't use that I need to find a spot for. But we use all of our coffee. The canisters that we use every day for our coffee are on the counters. There's one canister of creamer that we never use. We just pull it out whenever there are guests. So that stays in one of the cabinets. We might have a basket of our produce, our knives, some of our oils that we use every day for cooking, but everything else is pretty much off the counters. We do have a can opener on the counter because we open a lot of cans apparently. I used to actually put that one away, and my husband requested that we put it on the counters because he was tired of pulling it out every single day, every single dinner, whatever we were doing to cook with cans. So we compromised in that essence, but originally it used to be just directly under in a cabinet. And I know that that is not a luxury that everyone can afford. We have been decluttering and trying to pull out even more stuff that we don't use over time. So there is actually space in our cabinets, and there's space in our pantry for things like a bulky KitchenAid, or for things like a toaster that we can just put underneath, because we only toast bread maybe once every 2 weeks. In all, decluttering just makes things easier. And if you have little kids, involving them in any small tasks is going to make your cleaning easier. It can be sometimes hard motivating kids to help you in those instances, but I find when you give them like a big boy task, or you give them a job that seems like it's just a little bit harder than what they're used to, they do get really excited about it. So helping you unload dishes, or maybe they can dry the dishes while you're unloading it. I'm talking about the 3-year-old. Now the toddler, it is a lot harder to get your toddler to help with those types of tasks. I have about a 1.5-year-old, and she's just at the age where it's like, okay, you have a toy on the ground, please pick up this toy and take it to your room. And she's a pretty focused toddler, so she kind of gets it and will sometimes oblige. And it's really nice when she obliges, or when the other child obliges and they all kind of work together and we can just get it done together. Involving them does help. It is a lot harder to figure out ways to involve them when they're super little, but even if it's like, oh, go get out the broom for me, and they try to sweep, and then you can be like, okay, it's my turn, and you can actually sweep. That way they're focused on something else. They are not trying to clean dishes in the sink and getting water everywhere, which has happened a lot of times in my house. But I want to emphasize this. A clean kitchen does not mean a perfect kitchen. And your kitchen isn't meant to be clean 24/7. You are living in your home. You are utilizing your kitchen. So if there are dishes in the sink, that's a good thing. That's a sign that you are cooking with those dishes and you're eating off of those plates. Having the luxury of being able to clean your own plates and clean your own pots and pans, that's a blessing that you can cook from home, that you can eat from home. It's a blessing that you even own those plates to begin with, that you can clean later. So when we see on social media these picturesque kitchens without any clutter anywhere and no dishes in the sink, it is not always that way. Quit setting yourself up for failure. Quit setting yourself up for expectations that your kitchen needs to be clean all the time, that when your guests come over there can't be a single fork in the sink. You live in your home, and there can be signs that you live in your home. It's just a lot easier to cook later on when your dishes have been cleaned. So let me know in the comments, what is one small habit that you're going to try to implement today? Not all the habits, just one, because progress over perfection, friends. What's one small habit that you're going to try today to help keep your kitchen tidy?